They stole my face.
Oh, poor girl. Quickly, take a seat. You must still be worse for wear. Take a seat and tell us. What do you mean, stole your face?
She lets you kind of guide her to a chair. She really sort of is just kind of staring around. Doesn't really respond to your question. It's just like she's looking at you, but not just looking sort of partly through you. Like she doesn't, she's a little bit out of it. Doesn't really know what's
got the 1,000-yard stare. Yeah.
Yeah, 1,000-yard stare kind of deal. Yeah.
Looking to the others in the room, Booger's gonna, as an aside, kind of lean over. She doesn't seem like she's all there right now.
So just to confirm, she does in fact have a face.
She does have a face. Yes, she does have a face.
Okay, they didn't literally steal her face. Okay.
This is a good question.
Not sat next to a horror show right now.
That's a good check up on that though. No, she does have a face.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Miri is just looking at her really quizzically, kind of turning her head and what? And just trying to looking at her face and just turning her head and trying to look from different angles. What do you mean they stole your face?
Are you sort of seeing if there's anything out of place? What's your thinking here?
Yeah. I guess if I could see anything different, and I don't know, anything weird I'm looking for.
I guess maybe just a perception check then, actually.
Okay. So I rolled an 18.
18. Okay, that's pretty good. I mean, other than the distress that you're seeing in her, just general demeanor, nothing seems physically kind of out of place. She's still got the wound is on, just below her neck has been closed over by the healing magic that you got her and such, so that's no longer a problem. There's still a little bit of a nasty kind of red sort of mark there. It's not fully healed up. I know it's sort of the thing with D&D is a long rest or healing magic will get you back to 100%, but I feel like there should still be some kind of healing process that needs to go on.
Sense.
So yeah, so that you can definitely tell that's where the wound was still there, but as far as around her face and such, it just nothing seems kind of out of place at all or anything. She doesn't look, she's her hair's a bit wild and such as it's, I feel like you kind of dragged her in from the woods and put her in a bed, and there wasn't a lot of we'll just tidy her up much going on, but nothing physically seems kind of wrong with her, as you can see.
So Mira's gonna say, you look fine, but you look sort of like we dragged you in from the woods and stuff, and so you're but you look fine.
She sort of looks up at you, and you can see her sort of blinking her eyes if she's kind of focusing, and starts touching her face and such, and the other one, she took my face. But she took it.
Can anybody get this girl a mirror? I think she needs a little bit of reassurance.
Does Booger not have a hand mirror or something? I'm just thinking. I don't think you do. I don't think you put it in your inventory. I was just thinking based on you take care in your appearance and such.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's completely bald, so he doesn't really have to do too much.
That's fair enough. Yeah. Okay. No. Hamish, the barman, he's he's paying attention, but he's still kind of behind the bar, but I guess you're sort of in the immediate vicinity. He goes, 2 seconds, disappears into the back room, comes back, the sort of not 100% clean, but you get the feeling that maybe this is his shaving mirror, and he just kind of hands it over the bar to whoever wants to take it.
Booger will take it and kind of present it in front of the girl's face. Look, you're perfectly fine.
She sort of looks into the mirror and again is sort of touching her face and sort of looks up at you, and I guess can I get an insight check from you?
Okie doke. 15.
15. Okay, not bad. I mean, what you're picking up really is not that there's a little bit of confusion still, but you're almost sort of picking up a little bit of frustration that it's more like you're not understanding what she's meaning. rather than like confusion at like what she's seeing, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I think that, there's like some general confusion, but it's more like a little bit of frustration that even though she's only said what she said, it's like you're not filling in gaps that it's a little impossible for you to fill in, and she's a bit frustrated.
Right.
Yeah.
Seeing this, then Booger will furrow his brow a little bit. Say, I'm very sorry. This doesn't seem to have given the level of reassurance I was really hoping for here. What do you mean, taking your face? You have your face.
The woman in the woods. She changed her face. Her face changed to my face.
Illusions of some sort, no doubt. Do you have any experience with magic yourself? Are you from around these parts? I'm very sorry to harangue you with these questions, but there are so many on our minds.
No, I am from Ashala.
Oh.
Ashala is the neighbouring country. Mm-hmm. From where you are at the moment, it's probably it's a few days' travel along the roads.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you've come some way, and for a terrible experience at that, it sounds like. But the woman, I assume you didn't know her then. Would she just come out of the woods and do this?
I don't know. I was traveling with my companions, and we suddenly were stopping, and they took us out and did terrible things. Rickard, I saw them kill him, and she held me up, and her face changed.
Wait, kill? You said kill? Kill who? Who was killed?
Rickard was my manager. I saw them cut his throat. I didn't see what happened to the driver and our other guard.
Why would someone want to? You seem like a very nice person. So why would someone want to do this?
I don't know. I'm only a singer.
Don't worry yourself too much now. You're safe with us. You've got room and board until you're better. Is there anybody we could contact for you? Where were you headed to?
I have a concert in Valliné. It's the capital. I don't know how long it has been since the attack, but it was 3 days' time from when I last remember.
Concert, you say? Who were you performing for?
Oh, the king at the Royal Opera.
Booger looks to the other pair of the group with a look of concern in his face. I have a horrible feeling that this stolen face may be leading to something far more, weighty than just the attack on this group.
Do you think maybe we should go to Valliné, and try to intercept them?
Well, it's not what we set out to do, but if the king's life is potentially in danger, then, well, it's our duty to the land and the people, surely. I'm happy to go if you two are, but it will take us off the beaten trail. We were pursuing that robbery, but this sounds, yes, far more important.
I feel like you were pursuing that robbery.
Well, Lucas considered that these two are along for the ride, yeah. So,
Yeah. Well, if we can do something, that's good for lots of people, that we should do it. So let's go.
What about you, Kirik? You're awfully quiet over there.
Are we dealing with a shapeshifter, or are we dealing with magic, or both? It's bad either way. We need to go.
I'm glad we're all in agreement. Yes, I'd hate to think that we would know this and simply let it happen. Well, I suppose we're going to have to get ourselves a ride out of here. And we know who that's going to lead us to.
It doesn't have to, I will say. Sorry.
Well, I'm just kind of in the moment as Booger. That's like he's just thinking about these are the components we have, but we know who's got the carts and the horses.
Well, the horses is someone else, right?
Yeah, I can't remember what was his name.
That.
Trustworthy. It was a different. It was his ex-business partner, wasn't it? Never mind.
Right.
The wife's
That might. I'm just saying that might not be the only way out of town.
Oh, of course. But I'm thinking speed, because we don't know how quickly these people have made off. We don't know what their equipment is beyond the fact that there seem to be a few of them, and at least one of them's got some kind of magical capacity. So,
Bear's gonna turn to Hamish. Oh, Hamish, do you have like a way that we could get to Valliné? You know, like horses or something?
Ooh, Valliné. Some distance. Well, I suppose there's any number of carriages heading through town. I mean, might be able to hitch a ride. I don't really have any horses I can lend you myself, but always the mail carriage.
I'm sure we can find someone to assist. This is a matter of king and country. Surely there'll be a good patriot around here that would be happy to pass over some goods and services. Ultimately, it'll come back tenfold their way if they help us now. Booger's scratching his chin, thinking about how he might have to negotiate, and that these are lines that might come back out of his mouth again.
I'm looking real quick at my money.
Well, just to give some geographical information then, I guess. So you're in Colton's March. It's not too far from the capital. It's quite a long ways walk. It would take you at least 3 days to walk there. And part of that is back the way you've already been trudging, you know.
Mm.
In a fast carriage, it could probably be done in a day and a half.
Well, assuming that carriage that we saw last night was them, it was going pretty fast.
Yeah.
So I think haste is the best course of action here.
Let's try and get a little bit more info and then push on, I guess.
Okay.
Booger will try and ease himself a little bit in his demeanor and turn back to the girl and say, I'm so sorry, but we do need to know the specifics of what the people that attacked you, at the very least numbers and their equipment, perhaps. Did you get a sense of whether they were with a carriage or anything like that? Anything that would be pertinent to us chasing them down would be helpful at this time.
No, but they took us from our carriage. I think there was 3, maybe 4. I can't be sure. I'm afraid it all happened so quickly. It was a bit of a blur. I was snoozing in the back of the carriage, and before I knew what was happening, it stopped, and they were dragging me out of the carriage into the snow.
Well, if they took your carriage, then that seals the deal. It must have been them barreling past us in the night. I think that's as much as we'll need from you. And just take a moment to have a breather, perhaps get a cup of tea from the lovely landlord over there. I'm sure he's happy to help.
The barmaid, Ilya, who was also there when you came in before, is already coming over with a drink. As you say this.
Oh, perfect timing. Yes, help this girl. I need to speak to my companions. We've got some planning to do. And he'll turn off to the others and say, well, I guess a horse and cart is in order, and leaning quietly to them, do you think it would be for the best to bring her with us? When time comes, if this shapeshifter is performing and maybe close to the king, we may need something in the moment to immediately demonstrate that they're in danger.
Do you think she would come with us?
Well, we can ask.
Did she say why she was, and this is for you guys, not necessarily a GM question, did she say why she was, like, is there an event that she's performing for?
Yes, it's a concert for the king. Nothing more specific than that. In fairness, we could ask a little more, but...
Is it a festival or
well, let's
an anniversary?
Leaning back over and turning back towards her. Excuse me, sorry, one moment. What was this concert? Was it a birthday for the king or a festival for the people? What was the manner of performance?
At the Opera House, the first show of the season.
I see. Well, it sounds like it may be a crowded event. Ladies and lords of the land. that kind of thing. Well, shall we see if she's would be happy to join us, and then we can perhaps leave her here while we gather equipment for the ride and then set off.
Kirik nods.
Mary is like at the door, vibrating.
Well, I suppose that answers the question, and we'll be back soon enough. You stay there and warm up and rest up, and yes, we'll see you soon.
She sort of absent-mindedly looks and gives you like a sort of slight wave, and okay, see you soon.
As we're leaving, Booger's going to ask, shall we go straight to the horse vendor? I mean, we've spoken to the cart guy once, and well, his wares what they were. We might be able to cajole him now that the king's potential life is in danger. But at the very least, we need the horses.
Either way, yeah. I think the horses is the way to go first.
Right, I think I remember where they pointed us before.
It's not the biggest of towns, so it wouldn't be the longest search, I would imagine.
It's the kind of place where, I can't imagine, and tell me if I'm wrong, it's not so built up that we wouldn't be able to sort of see this kind of place in the distance, where, stables and what have you, that's going to be a distinct building in a village.
Yeah, you'd be able to find it. I mean, it's a little bigger than a village. There's about 500 people living in here, in the town. Because it's on, 3 major roads do meet here. So it's not tiny, but, it's not, you're not going to take you forever to find.
Well, let's start to wandering in that direction, and I'm sure we'll see it or perhaps smell the stables before we get there.
Yeah. Okay. So you head off back up the road, again, ducking past Trusty Williams, and no sign of him this time. You guess maybe he's back in the office, maybe shouting at his son again, and heading back through town. I mean, you don't really have to go too far through the town square or anything like that, but as you kind of head out down the southern sort of end of the town, you can see another yard up ahead, which with some buildings that look stable-like, I will say, so you feel like this is probably the place. There is another hand-painted sign, very similar to Trusty Williams' one, and this one says, Trustworthy Tony's Discount Horses and Saddle Warehouse. And there's a smaller sign next to it that says 4 shoes for the price of 3.
What a deal. As we're approaching them, Booger will ask the others, does anybody want to put their foot forward for negotiations? I tend to find that I do intimidate people a little bit, and, well, I don't want to get us off on the wrong foot.
Well, I think I'd like to talk to this Tony, sir. Yeah, I think I could.
Best foot forward then. Let's see what they've got.
Okay.
All right.
Heading into the yard. I mean, this is definitely the stables. The horses lined up in stalls, and there's a lot of hay everywhere, and a couple of stable hands kind of working around and that and everything. This definitely seems like a better kind of staffed business than the used carriage emporium. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot in the way of customers, but it definitely seems like, okay, this is a business that's not feeling quite so seedy, I will say. And there's a slightly better built looking office building than the shack that William had.
Okay, Mira's gonna stride straight up to the door and give it a perfunctory knock and then just walk right in.
Okay. Inside, it's not terrible. It's not messy in here or anything at all, but it's clearly not like an upper class, sort of stables. This is very much like a sort of practical, for travelers and things. So it's, it's nice, but it's not fancy in here. And there's a human man behind the desk who's working on a ledger. He looks up. Hello. How can I help?
Are you Tony? Tony?
I am Anthony. Please.
We are looking for horses. We need to get to Valliné quickly, and it's a matter of national security.
Oh, exciting. Well, we have plenty of horses. Valliné is quite some distance, though, to be riding in this weather. I can show you what we've got. Please. He stands up from behind the desk to usher you sort of back out into the stable block. Mm-hmm. I guess it's at this point that he notices the 7-foot-tall booger and booger. Sorry, I don't want to call him booger. There's a slight difference there that I didn't intend to creep in. The very tall booger and Kirik standing right. Oh, hello.
I think Kirik has been like petting every horse and stopping at every stall.
Yeah.
And just kind of. He's not going to use his speech of the woods, but he's definitely checking in and seeing how all the horses are doing.
Just like, afternoon, how you doing? Good to see you. Sort of.
Yeah, you being treated right.
Yeah.
Been fed.
I guess, can I get an animal handling
check? Do you want to
check?
save the king?
Yeah, give me an animal handling check, I guess, just to sort of see how well this goes.
That'd be an 18.
18? Okay, I was about to say it's probably not the most high stakes of rolls, but you roll pretty well anyway. Yeah, the horses, the vibe you get is that, they don't seem unhappy. They're munching away on their feed and stuff, and they seem pretty chill despite the cold weather. And you're not speaking in their language, but they pick up your friendly vibe and that, and yeah, you don't get kicked, is what I'll say.
Honestly, when it comes to horses, that's like all I want is not to get kicked.
Yeah. So yeah, successful roll there then.
I think Booger will have just entered the room and stood by the door, and seeing the guy motion towards him, he gives him a broad, toothy smile and a nod and a kind of little salute tap of the forehead.
He sort of nods back. Well, afternoon to you, sir.
Afternoon. So, these horses, we're a little short on cash right now, but as I said, it's a matter of national security. Can you help us at all?
Well, that does complicate things. Do you have any identification?
Well, nothing too official.
I can't just give the horses out to anybody who says it's a matter of national security. I wouldn't have any horses left.
Do you get that request often?
No, but you're not the first.
Okay.
Can't you just? I mean, we're trustworthy folks, right? Right. I mean, you're trusty, we're trusty, and we're telling it's really important. We and I give him this long sob story about how we saved this woman outside the town, and she told us that she's going to Valliné, and we saw these people run off in the night, and we need to get there quickly.
Okay. Make a persuasion check for me then.
All right.
See how over this story gets.
Can I try and assist here to give advantage potentially?
Sure. How are you doing that?
Kind of weighing in and like backing up all the points that are being made and emphasizing the danger. Like, we found out this information just moments ago. We've come straight here.
I got a 25.
Okay, I was gonna say with Booger helping you can get advantage, but 25 is pretty good.
I rolled an 18, so yeah.
He's really drawn in by the story. Oh wow! Well, this is. You weren't kidding. This is certainly exciting stuff.
Yes.
Well, I'd hate to be the one that stands in the way of helping the king. How many horses were you thinking?
Well, I think we'd rather. I think we'd rather. And as I look at my companions, I think we'd rather ride in a carriage. So maybe like one or two.
At the mention of the word carriage, his face kind of darkens a little bit. You say, we don't sell carriages here. It's
Well, of course we were gonna go back, go talk to William, but we sort of.
He's not trustworthy, you know.
I know, but I think we can. I think we can come to an understanding.
Well, I appreciate your forthrightness. It's fairly well known around here that William and I don't get on anymore. But you could have kept that a secret and you didn't. But I'll warn you though, he will perhaps not be so easy to convince to part with the carriage. And the wheel will probably fall off a mile up the road.
I think we can we can come to an understanding,
Well, on your head be it. Don't say I didn't warn you about his shoddy workmanship and laissez-faire attitude to treating his wife very well. But so that doesn't have any relevance in this. But,
Oh, I'm sure.
very well. Well, if and when you manage to secure a carriage from him, come back and see me, and we'll sort this. We'll find you the two best I can spare.
Thank you. Am I correct in thinking that we want a carriage instead of a horse? I don't think Miri is very good at riding.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be a day and a half travel, still at least. Like you're quite some distance. It's I'm just looking at my map. Yeah, it's that if you're going fast, it's about a day and a half.
Mm-hmm. So, if I were to fly, how long would that take me?
What's your flight speed? As I bring up my calculator.
I was gonna wild shape.
Okay. I guess it would be the flight speed of whatever you were wild shaping into.
All right. Let's pull up a critter here.
Yeah.
So, if you were a hawk, it would be fly speed of 60 feet. Or fly speed of 60 feet.
How long does wild shape last?
For me, it's 2 hours.
2 hours. Okay. 60 feet every 6... Hang on, no, that's not right. No, what am I doing here?
60 times 10.
60 times 10, that's what I'm saying. In my head, I was like, what have I done here? And then that times 120.
60. No.
Yeah. 6 rounds a minute is the 60 feet times 10. And then 120 minutes.
Oh, the 120 is 2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many feet in a mile?
5,280.
5,280. Crazy.
I'm loving the idea, the visual of like you wild shaping it, like going up into the air and immediately booming off in a supersonic. Boom, she's gone.
So if you flew flat out for the 2 hours, you would get further than they would in the cart. But yeah, you would maybe make it part of the nearly 2/3 of the way back to Foldell, which is the next village, the last village, because you could get 13 miles in that time.
This world is a lot bigger than I thought it was.
I'm also picturing Keurig like plummeting out of the sky.
Yeah.
Oops, tired now.
And that's flat out with no stopping, 60 feet per second for 2 hours. That's less than 7 miles an hour. That can't be right. I've probably done something wrong here. I was literally just having a discussion about how people don't want to listen to us throwing numbers at each other, but I feel like this is an important number to come up with. Hey, let me just... Feet per second in miles per hour.
Oh my gosh, now it's physics math. Blech.
Yeah. That's 40 miles an hour. Okay, so you could go 80 miles. So you could get there in the 2 hours. Hey folks, Editing AJ here. I never do this, but I feel the need to cut in at this point and just put my hands up and say, I know I got this maths bit wrong. I had it right the first time. It's about, 12 and a half, 13 miles an hour that Keurig should have been able to fly as a hawk, not 40 miles an hour. What I did was when I put in the numbers into what does feet per second equal in miles per hour, instead of going 10 feet per second, which should have been right, I put in 60 feet per second, which spat out the 40 miles an hour. Let's just pretend that whatever hawk Keurig can turn into for some reason can fly 40 miles an hour. Do not email me. Enjoy.
So Kira could be waiting for us.
Yeah. You could get there in the 2 hours and be very tired. But in straight line, yeah, you could get to... Well, at the very least, you could get to Westgate, which is the sort of the western border of it.
And then just have a nice long rest.
Yeah, then just chill out for a day and a half while the others catch up. But, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Right.
Like, you have to wait for us. Well, you'd probably wait for us.
Well, depending on how eventful our ride would be, it could just be a montage of, like, as you're flying, we're riding.
Yeah, and then...
I'm trying to remind myself that this is Dungeons and Dragons and not Call of Cthulhu, where you should not be splitting the party. But like my impulse is like, okay, bye. We have to save the king now. I'll see you in Valliné.
Yeah, that's the other thing. We could theoretically meet something on the road.
But then it is in terms of, like, a matter of national security. We've got somebody that can get there quick. Should they? Like, on that basis, we could get a message there. Maybe you might even get ahead of the people that we're trying to stop.
Yeah, I think Carrick is gonna pause in the middle of the street between the two shops that are hilariously now across the street from each other. All right, I can shape shift and fly if we really need to get there fast.
Well, you could warn the king, try and get the point across. I don't know whether they'll believe you or not. But at the very least, you can be there prepared for whenever these brigands turn up, and you'll be able to recognize the girl's face.
Do we have proof to provide? I mean, Tony made a good point. We don't exactly have qualifications.
The best we've got is our witness, I think.
Do you think she has anything that we could send?
Maybe like an invitation?
It has to be small.
We could have her write a testimony of sorts, but again, this would be walking into the palace and presenting a piece of paper to the king and saying, "You've got to believe us." I'm not sure of his temperament on that front. Well, at the very least, I do think it's a good idea for you to get on ahead of us. And, well, if it doesn't work, if you can get there that quick, then perhaps you could even get back to us.
I mean, did you know that she said that she was supposed to perform in 3 days, right? So that would be, like, theoretically, that would be 2 days from now, I guess.
I'm trying to remember if anyone grabbed a sample off of the weird tree thing.
No, you did not.
Oh, shit. Okay.
After you defeated it, you kind of grabbed her and got out of there pretty quickly.
All right. Well, before I fly off, we'll let's talk to the witness again and see if we can't send something along that might help.
Well, we may still... I don't mean to make this awkward, but creature comforts on the road are quite essential to me to some extent. It would be nice after having spent some time in bed and getting a taste for it. We could do with that cart. So perhaps you could speak to the witness and we could get the cart, or try to at least. Or I could, and, well, what do you think?
Divide and conquer. You guys go take care of the cart.
Yes, a good plan. Well, best of luck. I do hope that this girl's going to be able to provide something of substance to take to the king, but we'll see.
If I don't hear from you in a couple of days, I'll fly back.
Yes, join us on the road. We'll take the most direct and main routes in order to ensure that you can spot us from the air.
Good luck.
You too. Mm-hmm. And we'll split off dramatically.
You are still all stood outside the stables, so you will have to walk in the same direction to begin with, so it's kind of awkward. But
We definitely do that thing where we're going in the same direction, so we say goodbye, but we're all going the same way.
yeah.
And so...
Sort of, right, see you later. Oh, you're going this way too? Okay, let's stride with purpose.
Yeah.
Okay, but so Kirik, you're going back to the inn, is that right? Mm-hmm. And the other two of you are going to talk to William, is that also right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's go with let's stick with Kirik first. I think if speed is the plan here. So yeah, it doesn't take you too long, Kirik, to get back to the rolling wheel, and you find the young lady is still sat at the table. The barmaid isn't sat with her anymore, but she's sort of keeping an eye on her. She's sort of near the bar, and they brought her like a bowl of soup as well. She's not like digging into, but it's like there, and she's got the spoon in her hand, kind of thing. So she's still looking a little bit sort of, I don't know, contemplative sort of thing. She's not like chatting away with people. She's sort of lost in her own thoughts a little bit, I would say.
I think his approach is going to be just by nature, that's how he is anyway, but especially considering how traumatized she obviously is. His approach is going to be very gentle. He's going to do what he can to kind of make himself, like, if not small, then at least non-threatening.
Yeah.
He's going to sit down across from her.
Oh, hello there.
Hello. I realized we didn't get to talk much earlier. I'm Kirik. My companions and I helped you. know if you really remember me, but...
Oh, yes, of course. I'm Marianne.
I'm about to go to Valliné very quickly and speak with the king and try and see if we can't stop whatever it is that these face stealers intend to do. So, is there anything you could send with me that might help legitimize the claims that we're making?
To the king? I'd never met the king. I was contracted by the opera house themselves.
Is there someone at the opera house who would know or who would believe?
Maybe the manager of the opera house, Oris. He would know me. My manager, Ricard, he used to organize everything, but I have met Oris many times.
I could give you my locket to give to them. And she reaches for her neck and realizes that what she was looking for is not around her neck. Oh no. It was my grandmother's.
The attackers, perhaps they took it.
All right, well, perhaps I can search the area again and see if there's anything in the light of day that was left behind. He was going to say if the bodies are still there, because if they shapeshifted and stole that shit, then oh, wait a minute. Did they also shapeshift and take your manager's form?
I did not see that, no.
All right, well, I can go back and see if there's anything that I can find that might prove while I'm on the way.
I don't know what to give you. My luggage was all on the carriage.
Well, I'll look, and I'll be headed on to Valliné alone. My companions might need your assistance further, though.
I want to help. They killed my friend.
Kirik's gonna reach over and gently pat her hand. And I think he just naturally has an I'm sorry face anyway, but it's especially...
Resting apology face. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she doesn't withdraw her hand or anything. She's just she accepts the pat. I guess.
We'll figure this out and we'll stop them.
I hope you can. I do not know what it is they are planning, but they are not good people.
No. He's gonna give her another little sympathetic pat on the hand and then head out.
Yeah.
About how long did it take to get from where we found her and had that fight to Colton's Barge?
I don't think it was... I can't remember exactly what I said. It wasn't that long. It was
Okay.
You were half an hour walk out of town, I think. Something
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So he's not going to wild shape until he gets to that spot and checks it out first. So I think he'll start heading out of town.
Just a light jog. Yeah. Okay, we'll go back to the others then while you're traversing the distance. Booga and Amiri, you make your way back to the yard of Trusty William. Again, no signs of life in the yard itself, but the light is still on in the office shack that you can see.
Mira's gonna do the same. Just stride up to the door, give it a knock, and walk right in.
Booga will head in behind.
As before, you get to the doorway and the door is pulled open.
My friends, you come back to the yard to buy a carriage, no doubt. I knew you would be customers the minute I saw you.
Mr. William, we need to get to Valliné really fast because it's a matter of national security, and Mira's gonna give him the same story about finding and saving this woman outside of town and what she told them and all that stuff. So you see, we need to get there real fast, and we need a carriage.
It's very, very important trip there. Very, very important matter of life and death, you say.
Gonna get a persuasion check.
Once again, can Booga have weighed in?
Sure.
And emphasized points.
So with advantage then.
Okay, I did not roll as well. 16.
16, okay. You see him sort of taking on board what you're saying, and he at least it seems to be putting on like a very, very, concerning sort of thing. But you can also sort of get the feeling that you can see the fantasy equivalent of dollar signs popping up behind his eyes.
Right.
Well, if it's that important, I can... Perhaps, maybe we can talk a discount.
Well, we need, What were you thinking?
The biggest discount I give, I don't want the king to have any trouble. I can give you 5% discount. I cut my own throat with this deal.
5% is very, very poor, and honestly, we don't have the funds. Let's be frank here. We don't have any money right now to give you. So, what you're going to need to do is have faith, good sir. You need to look to the future and understand that helping the king will benefit you. This will come back. We promise that your name will be known.
And I'm going to... Oh, you cut your throat like, these people really, they cut the throat of an innocent man. Do you want his death to be in vain? Because we really need to...
It's very sad. It's a very sad story, trust me. But, hey, look. I'm running a business here. I need to feed my starving children.
You can see his kind of portly single child sitting at the desk behind him.
You mean Tommy there? And I pointed at the child.
Sure, look at him. He's wasting away over there.
Well, Tony said he would be able to help us.
Tony?
And, yeah.
That bastard.
And,
Do you know he stole my wife?
He's giving us a really good deal, and I know that you're more trustworthy than Tony, and so you would be able to give us a really good deal too, because we're gonna need to get to the capital.
I don't deal with anybody who deals with Tony.
But we need your help, sir.
Many people need my help.
And I'm going to put on the Puss in Boots face.
You've kind of pushed the one button with him you maybe didn't want to push, which was mentioning the guy who stole his ex-wife.
Damn, it was a gamble.
Yeah, it was a gamble. You can try and if you can think of something else to persuade him again, but he seems pretty pissed off now.
I think I've got an angle here.
Okay.
So, Booger's watching this conversation and is really disliking how unhelpful this guy is, and is furrowing his brow. And as that conversation's kind of getting to its head and the face is being pulled and he's clearly not being taken by it, Booger leans into Miri and goes, "Excuse me for just one moment. Let me take the reins." And he clears his throat and he steps right up into his face and leans in very close. And I would like to intimidate him.
"Now look here, you scumbag. This is about king and country. You better give us a bloody cart or I will smash your bloody head in."
Make an intimidation check for me, if you would.
Okie doke. 11.
He seems unfazed. If anything, he's a little smirk comes in his corner of his mouth.
Who do you think you're dealing with here? I sell you as carts for a living. I've broken more knees than you've had hot dinners. Get the hell out of my yard.
Well, I suppose you have a point. We can't run you out of business now, can we?
I'd like to see you try.
But the people who took the cart originally could, they know that they hurt the woman right outside this town, so they could come back and try to, silence her. And who knows? Maybe they think she's here.
Yeah, maybe we tell people she's here.
Yeah, maybe she was last seen here because she was trying to get a cart and you wouldn't help her.
Yeah, so I might find myself around town telling stories about you.
soon enough. You know, just dropping things here and there. He said this, or he was talking badly about you. Your reputation, well, you seem to care about that, don't you?
Is that good enough for me to roll an intimidation?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Booga weighing in.
16.
16. So this was actually going to be quite a hard check.
Yeah, I thought so.
He's not unmoved, but I think you just still fall a little bit short. He kind of, you can see the calculations going on behind his eyes of like, oh well, I did like my reputation, but then you're just like you're almost a little off with who his main customer base is. Like, he's not selling many carts to people who live here, and like you see him sort of think about it, and then just sort of you sort of see the internal shrug happen of like, oh, I can take the hit, sort of thing. Of like, he sort of goes, well, people here, you look, the sort of all customer service facade drops, and he goes, people here don't like me already. You think I care what you say to them? There's always somebody new coming through looking for a new wheel or a replacement cart. Even the two of you. You're threatening to run me out of business, do this, do that, but you need my services, and no one else to go to. Get out of here.
Well, I suppose we'll have to. And Booga's full of resentment for the fact that none of the intimidation worked, and he's feeling a bit kind of disempowered in this moment. We'll be on our way.
Mir's feeling very desperate.
Enjoy the road.
So, the only other thing I can think of is to steal one.
Well, it's that, or we just ride the horses. There's two of us. We were offered 2 horses.
Yeah.
We could just rough it in terms of sleeping and bite the bullet.
Kirik leaves you alone for 5 minutes and you're already stealing carriages.
Well, we're not set on this quite yet. It is an idea.
Like, yeah, you're not out of options. I'm not. Yeah.
We'd need the horses first if we were going to do it. Because it's going to be a complicated getaway, really, to get the horses in, saddled, like, reined up and, like, hooked up to the cart. Getting that going without him coming out and being like, what are you doing? I don't know about that.
Alright. Is there another way that we could get a cart or a carriage?
I mean, there's quite a lot. I mean, this isn't an out of the way town. There's like other carriages going through.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say that in a steering you any kind of way thing. I'm just saying you're not maybe as locked into needing a carriage from Trusty William as maybe it has seemed.
Okay, so I would like to go back to the inn because I want to talk to Hamish. And I want to ask Hamish about the mail cart.
Okay. So yeah, it's only a minute or two to get back up the road. It's on the same sort of stretch, and Kirik is gone by the time you get there. So this is So there's no weird crossover. And but the girl is still has her soup. That's how close it is. You weren't very long at Williams. But yes, she looks up as you come in, maybe thinking it was Kirik back in, but it's not. And Hamish is behind the bar. It's not empty in here. It's not just the girls out there. The regular guy who was the drunkard who was there before is still propping up his table with yet another drink in front of him. Troki, I think I said his name was. And but yeah, there's another couple of people in here. Okay. One or two with sort of traveling cloaks who maybe have. They look like they're sort of getting ready to head out as well, and wherever that is they're going. And yeah, that's the scene as you enter the bar.
So I'm gonna walk up to the bar. I assume Hamish is behind the bar.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna say, Mr. Hamish, sir, can you tell me about the mail cart?
It's it goes from the mail office in town, consignia they call it. The mail office is a bit of a fancy name for whatever it is. We just call it the post office around here. Every couple of days heads up north to the capital.
And when does it usually come through?
later this afternoon, maybe. Comes up south from Wild River. Stops off, gets his horses a drink, picks up the mail from here, and carries on.
So here's my thought. My thought is that we might be able to, especially since the milk cart is already technically on royal business, we might be able to convince them to ride straight for Valliné.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we could get that.
I'm going to thank Hamish and suggest that we head to the post office.
No problem. Yeah, he sort of gives you directions. And it's off at the main square.
Well, we'll have a little wander over there then, and see if we can get this new plan going.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you're wandering, let's cut back to Kirik. So, Kirik, you arrive back at the site of the ambush, and it doesn't look disturbed. It doesn't look like, as far as you can see, that anybody's been here in the few hours since you stumbled across it. So it's pretty much as you left it.
Okay. So it's daytime now. You can actually see.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a better start.
It's still cold. The snow's still there, I will say. Yeah, the snow's
absolutely.
still there. But it's definitely a little bit easier to see what's going on here.
Can I do just like a general investigation check to see or maybe a survival, because then I can kind of track what was happening in the snow? Would that work?
Yeah, sure. I would say, well, either one really, because you're kind of doing the putting on forensic mode kind of thing here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so first he's going to do the snow thing and try and track what exactly went down.
Okay, I guess that this would be survival, I guess. Yeah.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20, okay. So now that you've kind of heard the Marianne's story, that she's saying it was her carriage, you can kind of, with that in mind, kind of look at sort of clues in the sort of ruts in the snow and that you maybe wouldn't have put together before. And it does look like you can sort of imagine here where the cart was forced off of the road into this clearing.
Mm-hmm.
You can see sort of a few light footprint traces around the edge of the road, which you know aren't yours, and the sort of wheel ruts where it's sort of been forced off. You can sort of see where it was parked, because slightly less snow in one bit. So not a huge amount, but again, it's sort of with a dirty 20, or otherwise it's the kind of thing that would not be quite so obvious without a good check like that. So what you seem to put together here is that it was forced off the road, and you can see there was quite a lot of movement around where it was. Yeah, there's sort of remains of footprints and things. They're partially filled in with extra snow. It takes a little bit of time to sort of discount your own party's feet from when you came into the clearing and were helping where you found Marianne, and then rushing off to the other side of the clearing to fight the tree thing. Mm-hmm. It takes a little bit of time, but thankfully one of you is a cat person and two of you are quite big with fairly heavy feet, so you're able to find your own footprints quite quickly. So what you sort of seem to see here is that the carriage was forced into the clearing, people were pulled off of it and out of it. Whatever went down, went down. The bodies are still here of the three other people who were on the carriage. I think I said one of them was headless. And then you can see where the carriage was then taken out of the clearing at speed.
And I am assuming that the head is not here.
Oh no, the head's here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's just like a couple of meters away from the body, that's all.
Got it. Okay, so they didn't take it with them.
No.
Okay. This is gonna sound really loot goblin-y, but it's more like I want to see what they have on them, if they have any identification. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. I guess can I get an investigation check from you then, if this is sort of checking stuff out around them?
Wow, 19.
19. Okay, that's pretty good. So the headless one is a Goliath. Fairly heavy coat on him. Still a kind of got a dagger at his belt, which almost seems like he didn't have time to get out, but there is a sword sort of a short distance from his hand that it looks like it was dropped after he was dropped. And the head is, it's a head. It's got a tongue sticking out and it's kind of grim. He's got just pocket change in his pockets other than that, but you can't see any sort of form of identification. You know, it's not a tiny amount of money. He's got probably 10 gold's worth of gold in his pockets. It looks like if he was being paid, he's much bigger than the other two. It's possible that he was a guard of some sort, like a sort of hired muscle for the journey, and he was not sufficient, clearly. But he was clearly being paid fairly well for it. He doesn't have anything otherwise on him.
Oh, well, we're not going to leave that gold just kicking it here, so I'm just going to go ahead and add that to my pocket.
Yeah, he don't need it. So yeah, I guess did I say about 10 gold? He's got about 10 gold's worth in his pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything like noteworthy on the dagger at all, or is it just kind of a standard dagger?
It's just kind of a standard dagger. It seems fairly well made. It's quite a sort of, I don't know. It's quite a professional look about it. Like, you know, this guy, you know, knew his stuff and has some decent equipment, but it doesn't seem to be magical or anything. It's just like a well-made dagger. So same for the sword. It's, you know, it's just steel, but it's, you know, it's a decent make. But yeah, nothing too fancy about it other than, like, you know, it looks like a well-made weapon. That's all.
All right. Well, waste not. I'm gonna add that to my backpack.
Just picking up the stuff.
Just the dagger, not the sword.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I'll leave that.
Yeah.
Actually, I think Kirik would like pick it up and kind of put it ceremoniously, leaning it up against the torso.
Okay. Yeah. Like as a sort of like this was his weapon.
Yeah.
It should go with him. Sure. Yeah.
And then I'll move over to the next couple of bodies to see if they've got anything. Do you want me to roll again?
Yeah. If you would. We'll do it one at a time, I guess.
No, that one's a 13. That's not as good.
13. Okay. The next body is fairly well dressed. It's a human. Looks like he's had his pockets gone through, but like there's, you know, that he's got like a couple of rings on his hand that they've just left, and he's fairly well dressed sort of thing in a sort of quite, I don't know. I don't want to say a suit, but like the equivalent of, like, you know, he's he's quite well appointed, and you would sort of maybe guess that this might be the manager.
Okay.
Notably, though, you can sort of tell that his pockets have been gone through, and there's nothing in the way of paperwork or identification or anything on him like that.
And the rings are not like, there's not a signet ring, or it's just
there isn't a signet
standard
ring. No, these just look like I have some money and I'm showing off by buying jewelry kind of rings.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and leave those where they're at.
He was clearly doing fairly well out of his client. Is the feeling you get from that? You know, nice clothes, nice bit of jewelry on him, and look where it got him.
Can't be walking on the roads like that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if I'm not finding anything noteworthy, I'm going to move to the last body.
Okay, can I get another investigation check from you for that one then?
That one is a 16.
16. This is it's a younger guy. He's got a little bit of sort of scruff, you know, sort of light beard going, and looks to be wearing sort of slightly heavier coat and boots, but a little bit sort of scrappier. And you know what? With a 16, I'll tell you, you find a short distance from him a hat which has been knocked off.
Oh.
But he looks to be wearing like a traveling cloak sort of thing.
Is it a neat hat, or is it just kind of a hat?
It's just kind of a hat. And investigating, it would look like he has been killed by a spell blast to the chest.
Oof. Rough way to go.
Yeah. Like a burnt hole in his torso.
Nothing interesting in his pockets?
No, not really. Again, I would say with him, a little bit of pocket change, but adding up to a gold at the most, kind of thing.
Okay.
Oh, there is a business card, actually.
I'll take the business card. Why not? It's the only thing that I found.
It looks handmade, and there's a couple of them, so you would guess maybe they're his. It says Michelle's Express Carriages, and there's like a little cartoon drawing of a carriage with a smiling man at the reins. And there's like an address, and you don't recognize the streets or anything, but you do recognize the town name. Actually, do you recognize the town name? That's a good question. Can I get... What would this be? It's like a knowledge check more than anything, but... I guess history?
I would say history.
History? Yeah, okay. Gotta get a history check for him, just to see if you recognize the name.
17. My dice are either like yes or meh.
So yeah, you don't recognize the streets at all, but the town is Avaro, which you know is a sort of central Ashalan town.
And what was the name of what was on the business cards?
Just Michelle's Express carriages.
I'm just writing this down.
Michel. It's Michelle as in like the French Michelle, rather than Michelle as in like Pfeiffer, I guess. I mean, I was just racking my brain for who's a famous Michelle. But yeah, that's all he's got on him.
All right, well, I think finding nothing else. Actually, there's one more thing I want to check with the tree fight. Did the tree thing happen to them? Like, was it related, or did we just go into the wrong spot at the wrong time?
Well, this is a good question. If you want to check out the tree area, I'm going to need another investigation check from you.
Yeah, I want to check out the tree area. 18.
Okay. Other than your own footprints in the snow around it and like the remaining sort of ash that the thing sort of faded away into after you killed it, the tree itself, that whole area doesn't have many other footprints around it, although after some looking you do see a lighter set of footprints near to the tree itself. Obviously it's a bit sort of churned up where the battle happened and everything. But looking at the remains of the tree with that dice roll, I will say you can see that it does look like it had some kind of sigil carved into it. I guess, can I get an Arcana check from you real quick?
Yeah.
Just to see if you recognize anything about it, I guess, in terms of...
Oh, yeah, no, I don't. That's a 5.
That's a 5. No, it looks like it... Yeah, I mean, you recognize it as like this might have been a magical thing, but no, you can't get anything more than that.
Okay.
And the sigil, it looks like it was like split in two when the thing came out.
So are the steps coming from the woods towards the clearing, or are they going from the clearing towards the tree?
Clearing towards the tree.
Okay. Clear we're dealing with a magic user. They're as aware as I am that we're dealing with a magic user, so I don't know if there's much of anything that I can really tell the group. Anyway.
I think from the story of like her face changed into my, the implication there is that it could be magic, and I feel like that would be put together.
Yeah. Fair assumption. Okay.
Yeah. And if all goes well, like you can just fill them in when they catch up with you.
Yeah, because nothing bad is going to happen between now and then for sure.
Look, I can't confirm or deny anything at this point.
No, it's going to be totally fine. just do it. It's fine.
You're fine, don't worry about it.
Yeah. And I'm not going to. I think having learned as much as he can from the situation, I think Kirk's going to take off.
Okay.
Towards Valliné.
So, I guess you just sort of... What do you do when you wild shape? I guess this is the... Is that if you got like a cool stance or anything that you pull first, or are you just like suddenly a hawk?
I think he's going to try and find like a downed tree or a large rock to kind of help launch him up into the air.
Cool.
So he'll take kind of a running start towards that and then use that as a jump off point, and then as he's mid-air, that's when he wild shapes and takes off.
Perfect. Cinematic. I love it. Okay, so yeah, you are airborne and you are bound for the capital. You have 2 hours until your wild shape runs out, but you might just make it.
Yeah, we're going to get as far as we can.
At the very least, you're going to get a decent distance towards it before it runs out. Yeah.
Perfect.
Bear in mind, that's at full speed the whole distance as well, so you are going to maybe be a little bit tired by the time you get there, but yeah.
Luckily, I only need a short rest, so...
Oh, that's cool.
That's okay.
Yeah. Okay, so you are bound for the capital. Let's head back to Miri and Booga. So heading into the town square then of Colton's March, it doesn't take you long to find the post office with a big sort of sign kind of hanging from the side of the building, which has like a bugle on it because... we're keeping some stuff a little bit similar to the real world, and in quite fancy lettering is written "Consignia." The sign is kind of green painted, dark green, like a forest green.
Okay.
Stopped outside it is a cart, painted the same color, carriage, I should say, enclosed carriage, painted the same color green.
Is there anyone in the driver's seat?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay.
There are some horses there, just with feed bags on their faces.
Okay. Then I'm going to do my, by now, trademark, walk up the door, knock once, and walk in.
Okay. A little bell rings as you open the door. And, you find yourself in what looks to be a small post office. There's a counter. There's nobody at it at the moment. You can hear sounds of movement through like an open door into the back. Sounds like a couple of voices talking to each other. And there's a few sort of shelving units on either side leading up to it that have sort of various empty packaging things, and there looks to be some greeting cards on the other side, and what I can only describe as like gift shop crap as well. After you walk in and the bell rings, a sort of quite officious looking half-elf woman comes out from the back area. So, hello, can I help?
Hi, are you the driver of that carriage out front, or are you do you work here?
No, I'm the postmistress. The driver is engaged at back at the moment.
Oh, hello. My name is Miri. This is my friend Buga, and we saved a woman outside the town, and she was traveling to Valliné.
Oh, goodness.
And she told us that she was scheduled to sing at the opera in 3 days' time, and the king is going to be there, and some people robbed her, and we think that they're going to try to impersonate her and her retinue, and try to, while the king is there. So we're worried about the safety of the king, and so we need to get to Valliné real fast.
Of course. Well, this is an important business. How can I help?
Well, we need to get to Valliné pretty fast, and we were wondering if we could have the help of the person, the mail carriage.
Well, that we can ask him. She turns to the back and says, Rickard, this sort of kind of stocky-looking dwarf comes around the corner. Yep. Well, how can I help? He's got like a hat on, but it's like a kind of peaked brim on it and everything. It's not like a top hat or anything. It's just it's like a flat cap with a brim sort of thing.
Oh, like a watch cap kind of thing.
Yeah. Say he's in a full kind of green uniform, the same as the same color green.
Hello, Mr. Rickard. My name is Miri. This is my friend Buga. We rescued a woman that was on her way to Valliné. We rescued her outside town. She was traveling to Valliné to sing at the opera in 3 days' time, and I guess the king is going to be there. And she was robbed and her carriage stolen outside of town, and we believe that we're worried that the king might be in danger, because we think that some people are trying to impersonate her and be there. So we need to get to Valliné really fast.
Well, this is important. I mean, I'm going to Valliné next. You can ride with me if you want. Get you there, lickety-split.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Rickard. Thank you.
Yeah, you'll have to ride in the back with the sacks.
That's okay. We can do that, right? I'm gonna look at Buga, because I do not care, but Buga's kind of big, like a large being.
Well, it might be a little bit of a squeeze, but it beats being out on the road on the horses by ourselves. So, yes. I can make do.
Well, I'm leaving in 10 minutes. Is that enough time?
Oh,
yeah,
time
that
is
sounds.
a matter. So yes, let's make haste. 10 minutes is ideal, almost.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, were we gonna try to bring the woman with us?
Well, this is up to you.
I don't necessarily want to be like, here, get crammed in the back of this mail carriage so you can, but on the other hand, it might be good to have her with us because she might be able to, she can corroborate our story.
Yeah.
But it doesn't sound like she knows anyone there. I don't know.
Well, yeah, if all of the people that were with her and the reason for going, they're all gone now. Ultimately, we don't know if she wants to stay here or not.
If you want to retcon it, we can say that you asked her when you went back to see Hamish about the mail coach. Okay, I feel like this would have been a decision that you would have made before this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Just to so we're not running back and forth to the pub over and over again and trying to... Yeah. Because you were just in the pub before you came here, so I think we can maybe say this was a conversation that was had.
And the other thing I would ask her would have been if she had anything that could prove, like an invitation or something.
So I'll give you now, but without acting, without role playing it, she doesn't have anything on her. She checked anyway, but she's just basically in basic clothes at this point.
Yeah.
They even took and she relates that she told us to Kirik that they even took her grandmother's locket from her around her neck.
So, what did the locket look like?
It's like a simple sort of silver pendant.
Circular?
Yeah, but it had a small aquamarine gem in the middle of it.
And can she tell me what's inside?
Yeah, she can. There's a small etching of her parents.
Okay. So I could possibly use that as a way to corroborate my story, because I can tell someone what's in the locket.
But you don't have the locket as the
Well, I mean, if the person took the locket,
yes,
I could be like, there's the locket. It has a small aquamarine gem, and it should have etchings of a male and a female. Is she an elf?
Human, yeah.
Human. Okay. So male and female human.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you could still bring her with you, though, if you wanted. I'm not pushing you one way or another on that. I'm just, the options there.
If she's willing in their space, then I think it's for the best.
If she's willing to be crammed in the back of a mail carriage.
I mean, it's going to be cozy. You get to know each other a lot better.
They will know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, let's put it this way. She doesn't know anybody here either. And you lot have kind of shown a willingness to help. And you did save her life, so she's not against going with you.
Okay. Yeah, let's bring her with us.
Yeah?
Yep.
Ilya, as you leave okay, so this is a little bit of a flashback then. As you leave the pub before coming to the post office, the barmaid says, "Hold on a second," and she grabs a spare travelling cloak and gives it to Marianne, the young lady. Says, "Chilly out there. Good luck." And
thank you.
Yeah, and then you head off to the post office. So okay, then I guess we can say then that Booger, I guess you're briefly sort of convinced to help load the sack of mail from here, from Colton's March, and the three of you bundle into the back of this mail carriage. It's just a regular sort of enclosed carriage sort of size. There is, it's packed full of sacks of mail, but it's not uncomfortable. A little bit cramped with the sacks in there, but you're able to each have your own little sort of seat, and
Cool.
Rickard gets up on the seat of that, and he knocks on the top and says, "All right, next stop, Valliné then." And here we go. Yeah. Before you know it, you are heading out of Colton's March and back onto the road.
On the road again.
He starts humming that song under his breath as it's going. It's a particular favourite of his. Somehow has made it across the universe to this. Okay, Kirik, a couple of hours pass, and you're kind of keeping track in your head roughly of how long you've got left of your wild shape. I feel like it's sort of unsaid, but I feel like it would be like a feeling of like, oh, I haven't got long left, sort of unconscious,
and
sort of, yeah.
The energy needed to keep that going is definitely running out.
Yeah, you're definitely feeling the burn after like coming up on 2 hours of intense flying as a hawk. And just as you feel like you're just reaching your limit, you sort of dip down back towards ground level, and you can see not too far away the imposing structure of the outer defensive curtain wall, which rings the greater Valliné area. It's a big area. This is a long, thick wall which has been the main outer defense of the city for quite a few centuries now. But looming over the end of the King's Road before it heads through what's known as Westgate is the fortress of the Sapphire Keep, which is the headquarters of the army of Valliné. And it's a very imposing but welcome landmark, which is the outer limits of Valliné itself. And just as you reach the ground, your wild shape drops, and you are probably 10 minutes from the entrance to the city, Westgate itself.
Lovely.
Yeah. As you've sprinted nearly 80 miles across the countryside. So yeah, you drop your wild shape and you're like, oh god.
Is there a stump nearby that I can sit down on?
Yeah, you can have a sit down.
That's quite the sprint.
You sit down on stuff. It's getting we're getting towards the evening now, I would say, because it's been a couple of hours. It was sort of the afternoon when you're doing all that, and so it's starting to get a little darker again. You sit down on the stump, and an owl, which doesn't look too familiar. It's not the same owl from earlier on, but just hops onto the stump next to you and looks up at you and hoots sympathetically as you catch your breath.
Kira gives the little owl a smile and an agreeing nod to the hoot.
Alright, that's going to do it for this episode. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time on Thursday, February the 8th, with the next chapter of this story, and we hope you'll all join us for that. In the meantime, you can find us online at pretendingwithdice.com. There's links there to all of our social media pages, our Discord server, merch store, and much, much more. For now, that's our show. We hope you all enjoyed it. See you next time.